Hey guys, welcome back to Franchise Hockey Manager 8 with the Buffalo Sabres. We are right before the trade deadline, and a couple of things before we jump into this episode. Number one, guys, I really appreciate the support that this series is getting. For me, the numbers are astronomical. They're tiny in the world of YouTube, but for my channel, the support that this Let's Play has gotten has been absolutely amazing. That being said, if you like what you're watching, please drop the video a like. If you haven't and you like what you're watching, subscribe. If you don't want to do either and you want to just keep watching the videos, that's fine too. I appreciate the views. But yeah, I appreciate the support. As always, like I say at the end of every video, and I mean it. So one other thing. I realized now that I never changed the trade difficulty. So I just changed it. It was set on normal. I went in and I changed it to much harder. So what I did to account for that, I tried to go into commissioner mode in a test save and mess around with it, but the AI wouldn't trade players that it had just picked. Like, I moved Klingberg back to Dallas because I wanted to see what it would take to pry him away on much harder difficulty, and the AI wouldn't trade him because they just acquired him. So what I did was I went in. Let me shut the audio off over here. What I did was I went in and each trade, just to kind of even them up a little bit more, is I gave each team, the Blackhawks and the Dallas Stars, an additional 3-star prospect. Somebody that wasn't signed, somebody that wasn't, again, it was a 3-star prospect. So I'll show you really quickly if I can remember who those players were. Contracts. Nope, that's not where we want to go. We want to go unsigned. So I believe they were both forwards. So I gave Oliver Nadeau. Is that who it was? Yeah. Oliver Nadeau to the Blackhawks. He's a 19-year-old, 1.5-star, 3-star forward who's currently playing in the Q. Gave him to the Blackhawks to complete the Kubalik deal, just again to make myself feel a little bit better about making the deals without having the game set on a much harder difficulty. And then Dallas, we gave them... who did we give them? Was it Roulette? Was it Roulette? No. Who was it that we gave Dallas? One of these guys. It's Constantini. Matteo Constantini. We gave him to the Dallas Stars. He's a half-star, 3-star forward, currently playing at the University of North Dakota. So I did that to just sort of even things up a little bit and kind of make me feel not better about the deals, but at least put me in a position where I can say, all right, I gave up fair value for both of those players. So, and then you saw I bumped the trade difficulty up so that going forward, trading will be more difficult. Now, that being said, it is Sunday, February 20th. We are 31-16-3. We currently sit in third place in the Atlantic Division. We're pretty much settled into that, unless the Leafs go on a huge run or we completely cave in here. We're pretty much in one of those top 3 positions in the Atlantic. I don't suspect we're going to catch the Lightning, and we'll be sort of battling the Bruins here, I think, down the stretch. So let's get our roster set back. Oh, we still have a couple of players, right? Because we're not at the 24th yet. I stopped a couple days before the trade deadline so that we could take a look and see what was available to see if there was anything else we needed. So if we take a look at our team, defensively, we've got Dahlin and Klingberg on our top line. Our second line is Bryson and I think it's Butcher. And then our third line is Colin Miller and Yoki Haru. In the minors, defensively, we don't have a ton. Most of our talent is on the front end. We got Aksari Laaksonen, who is, he's playing pretty well down in Richmond right now. But he's still not there yet. Samuelson's very good defensively, but still super, super raw, only a 1-star player. So we don't have a lot of depth on the defensive side. Offensively, we have a ton of depth, and with Quinn and Paterka. And I guess we got Owen Power, who we are going to sign in the sign in the in the offseason as well, which will help us, which is probably a better way to do this, right? Let's go here and let's go to our depth chart. So yeah, Dahlin and Klingberg, Butcher. So we've got our top 6 set. We don't have a ton of depth. Looks like, yeah, I mean, he's in the K. Power will be up with the team next year. We got some players who, well, I mean, we might have Johnson and Power with the team next year. We got Pizik as depth. I think he's gone at the end of the year. Our wingers, Olofsson, Kubalik, Asplund, Bjork, and Thompson. I think we're okay on the left. I'm okay with Anders Bjork as my 4th line left wing. We've got Olofsson, Kubalik, Asplund, and Bjork. Center-wise, Eichel and Mittelstadt, our top 2 centers. Mason Shaw doing a fantastic job as our 3rd-line center, and then Artur Ruotsalainen. So I think we're okay there as well. And then on the right side, we're a little light. Cousins looks like he's coming along. Skinner, we're going to try to move that deal. Okposo is likely, I think he has 1 year left after this. So we could use some help on the right side, although we do have Quinn and Paterka, who both could be with the team next season. So I think from a forward perspective, we're okay because we have a ton of young depth as well. On defense, we've got, like I said, we've got Power and we've got Ryan Johnson, who are knocking on the door. But we're going to lose Butcher. We're going to lose Miller. So we're going to have Dahlin, Klingberg, Bryson, and Yoki Haru. So maybe I'm thinking for this year, I think maybe we look to bring in a right wing. Somebody who can play on the right side, but somebody who's only, whose contract only runs through this year, or, maybe has a reasonable contract going into next season. So that being said, let's take a look at who's on the trade block. So I want to look at wingers right now. I guess just forwards, because technically if someone can play center, they can play one of the wings. So, all these players have got 1 year left on their deal. A couple of the worst players have got 2 years, and I'm not really interested in that. All right, so let's see what we've got. So Jeff Carter, Ryan Carpenter, Athanasiou. Maybe. I mean, he's a pretty good offensive forward. We have a lot of grinders, so that Athanasiou might not be a bad get. He's not very good defensively. But if we got someone like Athanasiou, where would he slot in? Well, our top line is set with Olofsson when he comes back, Eichel, and Cousins. Our second line will be Kubalik, Mittelstadt, and Okposo. So probably he would, because Asplund would move down to the 3rd line. So maybe a center, and then we can move Ruotsalainen down to the 4th line and get somebody to center Skinner and Asplund. So Skinner and Asplund can both score. So maybe a center, I think, is probably the better option. I think a center is going to be the better option. So let's see what's available. And I have somebody in mind. I don't know if he's on the trade block, though. But I have somebody in mind. And he is on the trade block. It is Ryan Getzlaf. Very, very good offense. Defensively, he's still good enough. Obviously, very strong mentally, strong physically. He's 36 years old. We would slot him in as a 3rd-line center. Johan Larsson is... Jordan Staal. His contract is up after the season. Stahl's much better defensively. I think maybe Jordan Staal. Where is Carolina in the standings? I don't want to trade him if they're... Okay, yeah, they're 21, 23, and 7. Anaheim. So they're both out of the race. right? I think if we look at the wild card, yeah, Carolina's 11 points out. All right, so let's talk to Carolina about Jordan Staal. I kind of like that idea. Have him center that third line. So let's see if we can trade for Jordan Staal. All right. So they have a weakness at defense. Yep, so do we. Let's start with players. So who are we willing to part with off of our big league team, our main roster? So I'd be willing to part with Vinny Hinostroza, and that's not going to get it done because he's just not good enough. So if we go back to rights, I've given up the rights to a lot of our players so far, but I've held on to kind of our big five, as it were. Tyson Kozak. Would Philip Cederqvist make a difference? He thinks it's a well-balanced offer. So Hinostroza and Cederqvist for basically a rental. Jordan Staal. Wow. Okay, so they're willing to pull the trigger on that. That was fairly unexpected. Can I go back in and see if I can get something back from him? I mean, I don't know if that's going to kind of mess with it's hardly likely that they'll accept that. What about next year? You got anything next year that you want to give up? Hardly likely. Okay, so you're willing to do that too. Okay. So what if we ask for the third? Okay, so that's the limit right there. So can we get your fourth this year? Okay, there we go. So Vinny Hinostroza and the rights to Philip Cederqvist to the Carolina Hurricanes for Jordan Staal and a fourth. So let's finalize the deal. Oh, and I got to shut off commissioner mode. I told you I was in commissioner mode to try to mess around with the trades to see if we can make it happen. All right, so we pick up Jordan Staal. All right. So let's get up to our next. I think that's it from a trade deadline perspective. We'll get up to the 24th. We'll reset the lines. And then I think I'm just going to sim ahead to, I don't know what I'm going to sim ahead to. I haven't really thought about it. So Seattle and Carolina make a deal. Riley Sheehan to Carolina for Cade. I don't get what Carolina is doing. They just traded Jordan Staal, and they just pick up Riley Sheehan. I'm not going to argue with it. So Staal wants 9. He can't have 9. That's Eichel's number. He can, however, have 90. All right. So let's continue letting off on waivers. So 3 big moves by the Buffalo Sabres. We are going for it in year 1 here. Jordan Staal, Dominic Kubalik, and John Klingberg. Look at all the players on waivers. Excuse me, anybody that we would be interested in. I mean, if there was like a 3-star defenseman, it doesn't look like there is. Yeah, no, I'm not interested in any of those players. So let's get to the deadline. So we'll sim a couple games. I think maybe I'll sim to the end of February, and then I'll go offline, and I'll do March offline, and we'll come back and we'll do April, and see where we stand at that point. So a lot of players claimed on waivers. We're at the trade deadline. All right, so let's go ahead and continue past the deadline. Whoa, Varlamov on waivers. Semyon Varlamov on waiver. Yeah, I don't want to pay him for next year. Although, I mean, he's better than what we have. I don't think that makes sense. That doesn't make sense given how well our goaltending is played this season. All right, so deals. Tyson Yost and Nathan Gerbe for Gavin Bayreuther and Maxime Fortier. Chase DeLeo for Julian Gauthier, Edmonton and Washington. Kyler Yamamoto to the Washington Capitals for a second-round pick. Dennis Cholowski for a second-round pick. I think it's a good deal for Seattle there. Eric Johnson traded for Robbie Russo. Radulov to the Blue Jackets for a second. So Dallas cleaning house. Michael Stone to the Wild for a fifth. Ryan Lomberg for a fifth. Sharon Govich to New Jersey for Seth Jones. What a terrible deal by the New Jersey Devils. Yegor Sharon Govich, 31 points in 51 games, 23-year-old power forward to the Blackhawks, and they get out from underneath that Seth Jones contract. Well done, Blackhawks. Bruins and the Islanders, Cameron Hughes for Thomas Machu. Seattle sends Kali Yarncroc to San Jose for Magnus Krona. And the Oilers have sent Cole Lind to the Rangers for Dryden Hunt. All right. Well, let's set our lineups here, shall we? So we have to dress all of our important players. Klingberg, Dahlin. Is that everything? We got to dress one more. Gergensons, and then we will set our lines. So let's set our initial lines. Oh, it's not what I wanted to do because that's going to take everybody out. Damn it. All right. Players are already dressed. So I got to undress Thompson, dress Klingberg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thompson. Yeah, okay, that's fine. All right. So Eichel, Cousins, and Kubalik for now because we're still waiting on Olofsson to come back from injuries. The second line, Middlestat, Okposo, and who did I have on that second line right now? Asplund? Yeah, because of injury. The third line will be Staal, Skinner, and who was... Again, ultimately it's going to be Asplund, but for now I think it'll be Bjork. And then the fourth line, Rustalainen, Gergensons, and Shaw. Cool. So, and we'll figure out who goes to the bench once Olofsson is back. But Kubalik, Eichel, and Cousins. Is power forward what we want him as? Yep. Playmaker, Cousins. Can he be anything better than that? Have him as a setup, man. Defense, Bryson will move down. We get Klingberg up, so move Klingberg there. So, yep. So we will go Dahlin and Klingberg, Butcher and Bryson, Miller and Yoki Haru. On the power play, we're going to have to reset everything. That's fine. Cousins, Eichel, Kubalik with, I think, Klingberg as the main power play point, and Dahlin can be the point on the other one. Who do we want as our fourth forward on that? Jordan Staal is going to be the fourth forward on that power play. Second power play, we go Skinner, Middlestat, and Asplund. And who's going to be the fourth forward there? Okposo. Copy the lines down. I like having sort of a big guy as that fourth forward on the power play. I guess maybe I could set him up as one of the forwards that he's actually down low, but I'm okay with that. So here 4-on-3, we go Eichel, Cousins, Kubalik, and Klingberg, and then Dahlin, Skinner, Middlestat, Asplund. And PK, Staal is going to be out there. Gergensons is going to be out there. Okposo, I guess we'll go Staal and Okposo on that top PK unit. Then Gergensons and Shaw. And Asplund and I think Eichel. And then defense, Dahlin, Klingberg, Bryson, and Butcher, and then Colin Miller and Yoki Haru. So Klingberg, Dahlin, Klingberg, What is happening? What happened? Oh, right, because I can't have... Nah. That's what I wanted to do. And then we go Butcher and Bryson. Butcher and Bryson. Staal and Shaw. Staal and Shaw. And then the 4-on-4s. We're going to go Cousins and Eichel. And then we're going to go Middlestat and I think Okposo. No, not Staal. Cousins is going to go there. And on the back end, Dahlin, as always, Dahlin and Klingberg. And then Bryson and Butcher. And then the 3-on-3s, Eichel. And our 3-on-3s are going to be dangerous. They are going to be dangerous. So Klingberg and then Middlestat and Kubalik. Actually, I think that's what I want to do. Like that. Yeah. Goalie starts are set. Let's save. Post deadline 2022. Save those lines, and I think we are good to go. All right, so let's do some simming. Sim through the day. Excuse me. The new look Buffalo Sabres. First game out of the trade deadline against St. Louis is a 5-1 victory. That's what you like to see. So Eichel had a goal and an assist. Butcher had an assist, and Jordan Staal in his first game as a Buffalo Sabre picks up a couple of assists. Skinner, Middlestat, Cousins has 31 assists already. Okposo, Asplund, and Eichel. Okposo and Asplund had shorties 37 seconds apart. Anderson gets the start, only faces 12 shots. We outshoot St. Louis 46-13, and we steamroll St. Louis post trade deadline. And John Klingberg comes home to Dallas just about a month after being picked up by the Buffalo Sabres. And good news for us, Taylor Hall is out for 2 weeks. Let's go ahead and sim this one. 32, 16, and 3 are your Dallas Stars here at the end of February. Another win, 3-2 victory. Okposo 2 assists. Tokarski stops 36 out of 38. They took a 2-0 lead. Gurianov and Heiskanen. And then Staal with a shorty from Okposo and Dahlin. Asplund from Miller and Okposo. Bjork from Skinner and Butcher in the third with 40 seconds remaining to give us the victory. How did Klingberg do in his return? Meh, he was okay. Not great, but he was okay. Tokarski stops 36 out of 38. And we've moved into second place in the Atlantic. Tied with the Bruins now. Both teams with 52 games. Definitely a haves and a have-nots. Look at the 3 best teams in the league, or I guess 4 best teams with Vancouver in there. 11 losses on the year for Tampa. Development report, Middlestat got better, Rustalainen got better, Shaw got better, Poltapov out in the queue got better. He's an exciting prospect, but signed for, I think, a couple of years out there. Yeah, got him for this year and next. Pekka Luukkonen, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen got better. Okposo got a little worse, Staal got a little worse, and that's fine. I mean, maybe we bring Jordan Staal back. We'll see what he wants at the end of the season. So let's take a look at the stats, and then I'm going to pause, or I guess pause for you guys, and then I will sim through March. So Eichel leads the way. Eichel and Okposo both have 49 points in the year. Kyle Okposo a plus 29 and a 75 overall game rating. Rasmus Dahlin, 41 points in 52 games. Cousins, 41 in 52. Middlestat, 33. Skinner, 31. Bjork having a really nice season for us. Asplund doing really well as well. Kubalik, 4 points in 6 games since coming over from Chicago. Klingberg, 4 in 12. +5 since coming over from Dallas. Mason Shaw, 20 points for playing a really, really good defense. It's a +21. Colin Miller, 19 points. Bryson, 18. Rutsalainen, 17. Yoki Haru, 17. Butcher with 15. Staal, again, 3 points in 3 games with us. Thompson, 10 points in 39 games. He's going to be used as depth, I think. Gergensen hasn't played much, but has 7 points in 18 games. Still looking for his first goal. And then goalie stats, split right down the middle. Craig Anderson, 15-11-1 with a 2.40 and a 9.19 save percentage. And Dustin Tokarski, man, 18-5-2 with a 2.19 and a 9.27 save percentage. He has gotten hot. If we go to Rochester, Luukkonen, 17-14-1 with a 2.84 and a 9.09. He's about ready to go. Peterka, 32 points in 45 games. Laaksonen putting up some points, 31 and 50. Quinn has got 10 points in 37 games. He'll be up next year either way. I don't think we have any real players of note down here. Yeah, we don't. Okay. Let's look at... You know what I want to look at? I really quickly want to take a look at how some of our players are doing. So Owen Power, 12 points in 29 games this year for Michigan. Kisakov, 21 points in, I think the VHL is I think Russia's second tier league. I think it's right below the K, I believe. Poltapov, we've talked about. Peterka, we've talked about. Eric Portillo, 11-4 with a 2.83 and a 9.07 save percentage for Michigan. Ryan Johnson, 21 points in 30 games. He's a bruiser. 63 penalty minutes for the Golden Gophers. Yeah, and I'm really excited. We have 2 first-round picks this year. We still have Florida's, and they're moving up a bit here. Florida is, they are the first team out of the wild card, so we're hoping for a collapse from the Florida Panthers here down the stretch to get us into the lottery. So, all right, guys, let's just set the budgets real quick. I don't think we need to, we'll just bump everything up. So, yep, so we'll gain some points here. So I'm going to say ahead to the beginning of April, and then we'll come back and we will do April game by game. So I'll see you in a month. All right, guys, we're back. We're back early. Got some good news and some bad news. So I guess we'll start with the bad news. You can see, number one, my graphics are missing. I'm going to have to sort that out. But the game is crashing. The game will not sim past March 18th. I've already posted something to the forums. I've sent the file to Jeff. Given how awesome those guys are, I fully anticipate that they will be able to fix this and we will be able to pick up where we left off. But we're going to get a bit of a shorter video today because I cannot go past March 18th. So next episode, I will try to do the rest of the regular season and the postseason. And I had to send it without the graphics, and now my graphics folder seems to be jacked up, so I'll ask Jeff about that too, because I don't know enough about computers to fix it myself, but we'll see what we can do. So at any rate, we're through 60 games. We are 39-18-3. From a schedule perspective this season, you can see things have gone pretty well. We lost to Philadelphia. We lost to Calgary. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-2 this month, including an 8-0 win over the Vegas Knights. Klingberg's out for a couple of days. We lost Okposo for a couple of weeks, so he'll be back right around the time the playoffs start. From a statistical perspective, our midseason acquisitions are doing fantastic work. You can see Kubalik, 11 points in 14 games, 3 goals, 8 assists. And Jordan Staal, 10 points in 10 games after getting 10 in 30 for Carolina. So that pickup has worked out quite well for us. Klingberg is at 9 and 19, but he's a plus 12. So he's been fantastic as well. So you can see Eichel's up to 27 goals, 60 points in 52 games. Olofsson's back, 40 points in 44 games, including 21 goals. You can see we're a pretty well-balanced team, a lot of offense. Cousins with 13 goals, Middlestat with 14, Bjork with 13, Asplund with 12, Kubalik, Rutsalainen, Dahlin all with 11. I suspect Shaw will hit 10 on the year, so a lot of goal scoring for the Buffalo Sabres this year. Our goaltending continues to be sharp. Tokarski, 21-6-2 with a 2.20 and a 9.27 save percentage. Anderson, 18-12-1 with a 2.35 and a 9.20. So our goaltending continues to be really, really good. And I think that's about it. I don't know what else we can do right now. I can't sim ahead or the game will crash. So, yeah, this is kind of where we are, 39, 18, and 3. And we're in a bit of a holding pattern. So once the fine people at Franchise Hockey Manager take a look at my save file and get this thing sorted out for me, we'll be back. So hopefully that'll be sooner rather than later. If he's able to get me back up and running today or sometime over the weekend, I'll try to load up an additional video for you guys just to make sure everything is there. But for the time being, as always, guys, I appreciate your support. I appreciate you watching, and we'll talk to everybody soon. Bye-bye.